Tell me about it,
Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Anything in the world is justifiable if you just ignore the evidence. So everyone's like, well, if it was a black man, he would have went to jail. He would have got the death penalty. Ain't that what you said, Bubba Wallace? If it was a black man, he would have got the death penalty? Well, here's a story about a fella who got confronted outside a bar in Pennsylvania. He was a black man. He killed some white men. And he pleaded self-defense. Okay, the Root. Well, we're going to take it from the Root because it's supposed to be a black newspaper, but it's trash. And I know they're going to try to whip up some racism. I haven't read the story. I'm going to read it with you. But even the Root is admitting that a black man could get some self-defense. Here we go. Black man actually able to use self-defense plea after violent confrontation outside Pennsylvania bar. Here we go. There is an allegedly a right in the U.S. criminal justice system, the right to use deadly force to protect one's property or to prevent death or bodily harm to one's person. It's called self-defense. However, this plea is usually only works for those of Caucasian persuasion. Okay. There are statistics that bear this out. Hell, we just compared the case of, see, this is the thing. But black people don't want to do, they don't want to look at the whole case. She wants to bring up Melissa Alexander. But see, the thing with Melissa Alexander was, Melissa, you can't use self-defense if you can flee. And y'all better get used to that because Ahmaud Arbery could have fled. He came back. Melissa Alexander ran to the garage.
She walks down the jail hallway in handcuffs. Marissa Alexander has been sentenced to 20 years behind bars, convicted of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. She says she was defending herself, standing her ground, from a husband who had been arrested before on charges of abusing her.
He was arrested for doing what to you?
He choked me. He pushed me forcefully into the tub. He pushed me so hard into the closet that I hit my head against the wall and I kind of passed out for a second.
Her husband received probation after that incident. Months later, Alexander says she was in the bathroom at their home here in Jacksonville, Florida, when her husband started pounding on the door. She says he was in a jealous rage over text messages on her cell phone.
He managed to get the door open, and that's when he strangled me. He put his hands around my neck.
Alexander got away from her husband and then made a fateful decision. She could have run out the front door and escaped. Instead, she ran into the garage, but says she did not have her car keys and the garage door was stuck. So instead, she grabbed her gun she kept in this garage.
And what did you think you were going to do with it?
I thought that I was going to have to protect myself.
Were you thinking you might have to shoot him?
Yeah, I did. If it came to that. He saw my weapon at my side, and when he saw it, he was even more upset, and that's when he threatened to kill me.
But how is he going to kill you if you're the one with the gun?
I agree. I thought it was crazy too.
But why didn't you run out the door at that point?
There was no other way to get out the door. He was right there threatening to kill me.
What if you would have gone around him to go out the door? And your life would have been easier today if you did that.
Yeah, but the law states I don't have to.
The law she's talking about is the controversial Stand Your Ground law. Instead of running, she did what she thought was allowed by law. She believed she stood her ground and fired the gun into the wall. Nobody was hurt, but it was enough to scare her husband, Rico Gray, and he left the house with his 2 young children from a previous relationship. Alexander was safe from her husband, but not from the law. She was arrested, her Stand Your Ground defense rejected, and found guilty by a jury. Marissa Alexander's husband, Rico Gray, agreed to do an on-camera interview with us to counter his wife's allegations. But a few hours later, he made the decision not to do the interview, claiming that going on camera would put his life in danger. However, later, he sent us an email saying he would do an interview if he got paid, which CNN does not do. But he has already said quite a bit. During a deposition with a prosecutor from the Office of State Attorney Angela Corey and a defense attorney for his wife, Rico Gray acknowledged hitting his wife in the past and said this about the shooting incident, quote, "If my kids weren't there, I knew I probably would have tried to take the gun from her. I probably would have put my hand on her. Marissa Alexander's attorney then asked the husband what he meant about putting his hand on her. And Rico Gray responded, "Probably hit her. I got 5 baby mamas, and I put my hands in every last one of them except for one."
I believe when he threatened to kill me, that's what he was going to do. That's exactly what he intended to do. And had I not discharged my weapon at that point, I would not be here.
But later, at a court hearing to determine whether Marissa Alexander should get immunity based on the Stand Your Ground law, Rico Gray changed his story, saying he lied repeatedly in the deposition to protect his wife, claiming he did not threaten to kill her, and testifying, quote, "I begged and pleaded for my life when she had the gun." The jury deliberated for 12 minutes before convicting her. The Jacksonville NAACP wrote a letter to the trial judge, saying Marissa Alexander may not have received justice because of her gender, race, or economic status. Some African-American news websites are saying much the same thing, that if Marissa had been white, her Stand Your Ground defense would have been accepted, and she wouldn't be facing 20 years in prison. But Alexander will not say if she agrees with that possibility.
I'm going to be honest with you, I'm uncomfortable answering that.
For now, Marissa Alexander's main hope is that an appellate court agrees to hear her case.
Wow.
She had a baby girl with Rico Gray 3 years ago, but she only sees her child in photographs. Rico Gray has custody. He's considered the victim, his wife the criminal.
This is my life I'm fighting for. This is my life. And it's my life, and it's not entertainment. It is my life.
The 20-year sentence is a mandatory 20 years, meaning no chance of parole. Gary Tuckman, CNN, Jacksonville, Florida.
So she could have got out of the situation, but then she came back in to the house, and then she fired the gun. She was in a safe. Once you cannot claim self-defense once you're in a safe environment. You can't. There was a case in Pittsburgh, California. 3 men came to attack 1 man at his house. He killed 2 men inside the house. He chased 1 down, and he killed him on the sidewalk. He was given self-defense for the first 2, but he wasn't given self-defense for the 3rd man. Oh, and he was black. A black woman to George Zimmerman. See, here's the problem. People don't want to look at the truth of the fact of the Trayvon Martin case. George Zimmerman said he lost Trayvon Martin. Now, whether you think it was right for George Zimmerman to follow Trayvon Martin, that ain't what is at question here. George Zimmerman did not break the law. It wasn't right. Legal and right are not the same thing. It wasn't right, but it wasn't illegal. Trayvon Martin doubled back. George Zimmerman lost him. We can confirm that by the 911 call. George Zimmerman lost Trayvon Martin. Trayvon Martin doubled back, socked George Zimmerman, knocked George Zimmerman to the ground, started banging George Zimmerman's head off the sidewalk, and George Zimmerman shot Trayvon Martin in self-defense because Trayvon Martin attacked George Zimmerman. So we can lie and claim it's racism all we want to, but the facts of the matter is Trayvon Martin became the aggressor, and that what gave George Zimmerman the right to use self-defense. But anyway, with it, a white presenting man. Well, actually, George Zimmerman is Hispanic, but make him white if it's gonna help you with the story. I don't care. A white presenting man, both in Florida, to see how it usually goes down. But every once in a blue, the pendulum of justice swings our way. Swings who way? It don't swing my way. It swings that person's way. Who the fuck is you talking about swings our way? It swings that person's way. It doesn't swing a whole race's way. Because what about when black people kill black people and black people are able to use stand that ground or self-defense? Get the fuck out of here. I mean, y'all need to get over this racism shit. That's what I'm saying. A lot of y'all out here doing shit. That's why. Anyway, let me keep going. Instead of knocking us down, and this is what happened when 31-year-old Stephen Jamal Spencer it's too busy worrying about all this racism that they forgot to put Stephen Jamal Spencer you supposed to put his city, or you made a mistake. The root is trash. Y'all need to get a better editor. Jamal Spencer was acquitted of all charges of shooting in the shooting death of 32-year-old Christopher Williams outside a bar last year. Now, this being America, Spencer was jailed for more than a year at the Luzerne County Correctional Center as he awaited trial. The state put forth its best effort to keep him locked away. Yeah. All these black men out here killing people and getting bond and getting out to kill more people. Yeah. Well, this is America, all right. This is America. Yeah. Hella people getting bail, but this is America. Let's keep moving. Everyone got a racist. Hey, and you know what about all these people who say this is America? You know, there's planes that leave every day. If you don't like America, you could get on a plane and go live somewhere else. And I'm sure they're going to treat your black ass a little bit better over there. Or your white liberal ass a little bit better over there. But you don't see none of these black millionaires who are tweeting out this is America, loading up their shit, and leaving America. Let's keep going. The AP reports that Spencer was charged with homicide, aggravated assault, terroristic threats after a confrontation outside the Saints and Sinners Irish pub in Princeton, Pennsylvania. In July 2017, the deadly dust-up allegedly began after a white patron in the bar refused to shake Spencer's hand because he was black after a dispute over a game of pool. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense too. Fuck it. I ain't trying to shake your hand after we had a dispute over a game of pool. Okay? Alcohol makes people think differently. Spencer has testified that he fired in self-defense as a group of would-be attackers came at him outside. His attorney said the group was moving menacingly toward Spencer and called him a nigger. One of the prosecutors argued that the offensive handshake refusal had nothing to do with the killing. Another, Tom Hogan, said during closing arguments that Spencer had the opportunity and the duty to retreat rather than pull his gun. Shooting an unarmed man on the streets when you can retreat is not self-defense, Hogan said. He intentionally shot him in a vital part of his body. Defense attorney John Pike, however, had another perspective. He painted Spencer as a hard-working family man and a homeowner who ran his own business and had a valid concealed carry permit for the gun. He also had no criminal record. Pike argued that Spencer was defending himself after enduring a night of racial taunting, including the fact that a white man refused to touch him because he was black. First of all, I don't care either way if Spencer went to jail or Spencer got off, because, Spencer shouldn't have had his black ass somewhere that he wasn't wanted in the first place. But, a lot of you so-called pro-black and want to be on the black wagon train, you always take yourself somewhere that they don't want you in the first place, and shit like this always happens. They get drunk, start calling you a nigger, trying to beat you up, and then you have to shoot one of them, have to beat one of them up, you end up going to jail, then you have to go through the whole trial. But if you would just keep your black asses away from these people, it's what happened. But you know why this happens? Because you can't take your black asses around your own people, because the shit happened there too. I digest, gonna go to the toilet, shit it out. Let's move on. The Philadelphia Tribune reports that night Spencer arrived at the bar with his neighbor Henry Gift, who was white. Oh, he got white friends. Oh my God. And the two was leaving the bar. Gift said he was attacked from behind by two people. He said he was unsure that the attack was racially motivated because he was he said he was sure the attack was racially motivated because he was a black guy at a bar. Wait a minute. I thought he was with a black guy at a bar. He said his own beating only stopped when he heard the one gunshot Spencer fired from up ahead on the sidewalk. What's going on? What's going to trigger a racist? A black man in their white bar fueled by alcohol, Spencer's attorney said. In his mind, he was terrified and did what he had to do in those few seconds, Pike said. The lawyer also noted that Spencer fired only one shot and stopped when the threat stopped. Spencer said Friday, "I was fighting for my life for 15 months and I finally made it. Justice was served." His lawyer crowned the jury. His lawyer crowned his lawyer crowed that the jury saw the confrontation for what it was, ugly racism. Jurors deliberated for 4 hours Friday before acquitting Spencer. After 453 days in jail, he walked away a free man. So I don't know why Spencer did not get bail. Anyway, let's look at this.
Yes, sir. The long one. The long one. Tell you what. The long can tell you what.
Oh, I'm so bad. Oh my God. I can't believe this.
Long one. Yeah, she don't want to be a part of it.
You know I was playing.
Yeah.
I'll barely say that.
I know those nerves is like.
This is all she wants. And more than all, this is what she wants. Just watch now. I just watched that fall. She was showing that.
Mr. Spencer, you're facing a possibility of a possible lifetime in prison for a murder charge. You've been in there for
453 days. I was counting. It was terrible. It's unjust for the situation I was in. The Luzerne County detectives, Piston Police, no one ever did an investigation. They looked at me, I was a black man, and they just thought I was just another black man that committed a murder without any justification or any purpose. And here I am, and I was fighting for my life for 15 months, and I finally made it. And now, with no charges, every justice was served.
How does it feel to be a free man?
I'm still feeling it right now. I don't even know.
When the judge and jury announced the verdict today, how are you feeling at that moment?
It's like you don't even understand, like when you feel like you're going to be in jail for the rest of your life, you don't even know how to feel. It's just like the emotions just running through your body that can't even be explained.
Is there anything you'd like to say to Mr. Williams' family?
I do apologize for him to be deceased, but I don't apologize for the actions I took. But sometimes things like this do happen when people are bullies and people are raised in a culture of racism.
How big of a problem do you think racism is in Luzerne County?
I believe it's terrible. I believe it's bigger than we all think. So I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy how political it is. How racism is infested through Piston.
What are your plans now?
My plan is just to go home, kiss my kids, tell them that there is ways to get out of jail, even when it's an unjust society out there, and it's hope.